Ooh.
The land where I was born and raised is a vast cornfield, which is the livelihood of many farming families. But in recent years, wild boars have turned these fields into battlefields, causing people to suffer losses. They hide and breed among the lush cornfields, creating an increasingly large threat. Wild boars not only plow the land and destroy the grass, but also cause serious damage when attacking corn fields, destroying crops, and depriving farmers of an important source of income. With each wave they pass, farmland is dug up, crops are destroyed, leaving unpredictable damage. In response to this situation, regulations on wild boar hunting have been relaxed, allowing farmers and hunters to participate in controlling their numbers. However, this is also a difficult task, so there will need to be consensus between farmers and hunters. We were in the field, but it was a bit difficult to find wild boars during the day. But with the help of hunting dogs, we quickly discovered the hiding place of a wild boar. In the dense grass near the field, the dogs were searching and barking loudly. Perhaps it had found its target. We followed the tracks left by the dogs, weaving through the tall grass. A breathless chase ensued, and finally, the wild boar was brought down. Immediately after that, the dogs continued to search everywhere. The cornfield had just been harvested. Perhaps the wild boars were still wandering nearby to forage. We also hoped that we could quickly detect and kill as many wild boars as possible. Having discovered the target, I immediately sped up, crossing the vast field in a dramatic chase. The boar darted like an arrow, forcing me to use all my strength to keep up. When the distance was shortened, I raised my gun and aimed, but it was too fast, causing the first shots to miss. The chase continued until I finally got close enough to take it down. It was a large boar, probably full from the rich corn fields here. But it was not over yet, because just a few minutes later, the dogs signaled another herd of boars. This time, the boar wisely hid, rushing through obstacles that the car could not pass. But its plan failed when a hunter in the group ambushed it. As soon as it passed, he calmly took aim. There was no more chance for it. The boar was killed on the spot. In the newly harvested field, the boar had nowhere to hide. As soon as I spotted it, I immediately chased after it. Despite its large size, it was very agile, making it more difficult than ever to aim. After persistently following, our car finally got close enough. The wild boar was moving slowly now, seemingly on guard. This was an opportunity one couldn't miss. All our efforts were directed towards the ultimate goal of destroying these saboteurs. And this was the time when it was easy to see wild boars sneaking around looking for food. As expected, right outside the cornfield, a wild boar suddenly appeared. I immediately released the hunting dogs to chase it, but it quickly rushed towards the harvested cornfield. With no other choice, I decided to take aim from a fairly long distance. My aiming technique is also not bad. I could take it down with just one shot. On this side of the field, a lush cornfield is in full growth, but the danger of wild boars ravaging it is always lurking. In order to protect the crops, we constantly patrol, not giving the saboteurs a chance to rampage. The hunting dogs are eagerly searching, while I carefully check every trace. Sneaking through the dense cornfield, I follow their fierce barking and discover a wild boar hiding. A dramatic tug-of-war ensues. The corn plants are knocked down. The ground is overturned. While the wild boar is fiercely resisting, I take the opportunity to shoot an accurate shot. As I hoped, the wild boar was taken down with the first shot. Every now and then, I would spot the traces of the wild boars. Whenever they ran away, we would immediately drive after them, determined not to let any escape. During a long day of hard work, the number of wild boars hunted increased significantly, more than any time before. What was special was that the pigs this time were all large in size. However, the joy was not complete because this could be a sign that the wild boar population is exploding, bringing greater challenges to the upcoming crop. It all started when we heard about ferocious wild boars that were ravaging the area. The locals said that they were no longer afraid of humans, but were becoming more and more daring, tearing apart camps and even attacking livestock. When the offer to join the campaign to control the wild boar population was made, none of us hesitated. So from carefree tourists, we became reluctant hunters, rushing into a breathless chase in the frozen wilderness. We gathered at the edge of the forest, where the snow covered the ground. The space was suspiciously quiet. The group quickly came up with a specific plan, dividing into small groups, deploying formations to cover the entire area, ensuring that not a single wild boar could escape. Finally, what we had hoped for appeared, deep footprints in the white snow. We immediately followed. Not far away, a wild boar was wandering, its nose constantly plowing the ground in search of food. I quickly found a suitable position, stabilizing my posture at a distance of 200 m. The cold made my fingers numb, but I still held the gun firmly in my hand. However, the wild boar suddenly stopped. It seemed to sense something was wrong and moved continuously, trying to escape the danger zone. But it was too late. I had already grasped its every move. The gunshot tore through the silence of the snowy forest. An accurate shot. The wild boar paused, its legs trembling before collapsing. On the opposite hill, gunshots suddenly rang out. The battle had officially begun. Looking through the scope, I quickly recognized the target, a giant wild boar. But no one could have expected that it was not a simple prey. The group quickly launched an attack. Gunshots rang out one after another, each shot cutting through the air aimed straight at the beast. But somehow, it continuously dodged spectacularly. Its strong survival instinct helped it dodge the bullets cunningly, running faster and farther with each step. In the blink of an eye, it changed direction, rushing straight towards the dense trees, and then disappeared. A feeling of regret rose in my heart. Our defeat against the giant wild boar, we were not discouraged. Continuing to move forward, crossing the snow-covered slopes, our eyes constantly scanned every tree, every trace on the ground. And then our perseverance was rewarded. Ahead, a large herd of wild boars had just appeared. They were moving down the valley. Not wanting to miss this opportunity, the group immediately deployed their formation, dividing to block the front and surrounding from many directions. I quickly rushed forward, choosing a strategic position. At this moment, a huge black shadow suddenly charged straight towards me. It was the leader of the herd. It was not afraid at all. But all arrogance comes at a price. I immediately raised my gun. A piercing scream echoed before it stopped, its legs shaking and collapsing onto the white snow. Still in the same snow-covered forest, I continued to move, my eyes quickly scanning every hidden corner, searching for traces of the intruders. This time, I chose a perfect ambush position. On the slope, I could observe the entire area ahead without being easily detected. About half an hour later, among the dry trees, a herd of wild boars suddenly appeared. They were moving quickly towards the top of the hill, probably looking for shelter after the recent fight. But this time, they weren't so lucky. Without hesitation, I quickly aligned my shot, took a deep breath, and pulled the trigger. Shaking the quiet forest, the wild boars panicked, their feet stomping on the snow, creating a chaotic scene. Some were hit by the bullets and collapsed on the spot. Others were injured, staggering to find a way to escape. At the foot of the mountain, a vast expanse of open land was covered in pure white snow. A wild boar, the last survivor of the herd, was running away at an astonishing speed. Immediately, I aimed and shot. The gunshot rang out sharply, a bullet flew out in the blink of an eye, and I took down the target with a fatal shot. Under the gray winter sky, I continued to move deeper into the forest. The wild boars were running away. They stopped while moving, looking around cautiously, as if sensing something. I held the gun tightly, adjusted my breathing, making sure that there was no mistake. The wild boar paused for a second. It was this moment. After the crisp gunshot, the wild boar had completely collapsed in the snow. From within the woods, chaotic noises rang out. The giant wild boars rushed in panic, trying to escape the clutches of the ferocious hunting dogs. However, they were completely unaware that an even more dangerous trap was waiting ahead. My teammates and I were ready, hiding in the dense bushes. When the wild boars moved to the right ambush position, they would have no way to escape. Gunshots rang out continuously. I took down 2 more wild boars before the herd disappeared from sight. Once again, the perfect ambush brought back worthy spoils. Did you know that a seemingly harmless animal is becoming a global nightmare? Wild boars, the silent destroyer, are causing a series of serious problems from Europe, America to Asia. They not only destroy ecosystems, erode soil, destroy crops, but also spread diseases and threaten ecological balance. Can we control this storm called wild boars? Or will they continue to dominate rural areas, national forests, and suburban areas? The answer is definitely no. As a hunter, I will not allow that to happen. The dawn is beginning to shine through the trees. I am ready for today's hunting trip, carrying the Boar 4X Marrow, a loyal companion in many previous trips. Beside me was a pack of elite hunting dogs, dogs that were familiar with this challenging task.